Hello, this is Jennifer Huber, and I'm going to do a PowerPoint about cultural diversity in public education, and my focus is going to be on the achievement gap. I wanted to do my presentation about this. This matters to me. In 2013, 335 students total graduated from my school district. Of those students, 57% of them took the ACT test, and only 32 of those students scored at or above the national standard. So you can see that my school district is very low performing. As a matter of fact, we are currently at a provisionally accredited status. Here's some data about my school district here, Hickman Mills. You can see that we have 77.3% of black students in my school district. The Missouri average of students that are black is 16.6%. We also have 7.8% Hispanic students, and that's above the Missouri average for 5.1% of Hispanic students. We have a school that is culturally diverse, but we have a majority of black students in my school district. What is culturally diverse? We're living in a more and more culturally diverse world. Tolerance and acceptance of other cultures is imperative in all schools and workplaces. Educating staff about cultural diversity is important to help them be more open to and understanding of other cultures. And schools can be places of warmth and welcome if all students feel welcome and understood. In talking about the achievement gap, we need to look at our cultural numbers and data. We're obviously not being very culturally sensitive to our black and Hispanic students because they're scoring so much lower than our white students are. One thing, who are your students? One thing teachers need to keep in mind is they need to learn who their students are, where they come from, what is important to them and what they value. How can teachers do this? They talk to the students. They need to develop meaningful relationships and know their demographics. They need to be open about learning about other cultures, prepared to research on their own about other cultures and keep an open mind. Students feel more safe and ready to receive instruction if they feel welcome, and that means that we have to be welcoming to the students. Back to the achievement gap here. Black and Hispanic students, students from low socioeconomic backgrounds score lower. They on average have lower grades. Their standardized test scores are lower, the dropout rates are higher, college completion rates are lower. If we're meeting students where they're at, if we're teaching students what they need to be taught, why are such large groups of students not meeting the same standard? What are we missing? We have educational strategies to help. One thing I was reading about is multiple intelligences and how that can be a helpful tool to attempt to meet students where they're at. All right, we have to be able to build relationships with students, understand the students. We have to retain high quality teachers. A lot of times the best and brightest teachers leave schools where there is a high percentage of black and Hispanic students, and particularly of low income, low socioeconomic background. We need as much community involvement as possible as well. A little bit more about the multiple intelligences. When I was reading about that, if teachers are using multiple intelligences to plan their lessons, I thought the interpersonal part was particularly important. Understanding and interacting with others. Students learn through interaction. If they have an interpersonal multiple intelligence, they have many friends, empathy for others, street smarts. They can be taught through group activities, seminars, dialogues. With the students in my school, they are very vocal. They like to talk. They like to have a lot of contact with their peers. So if teachers are keeping that in mind, culturally, that these students like to talk and they like to help each other, and they, this could help the teachers teach the students better. I'm going to go back to some data for just a moment that I thought was important. If you look at the achievement gap data, I pulled this off of the internet. This is from Washington, D.C. This is pretty startling information. if you look at this, this is fourth grade reading percent proficient on a national assessment for educational progress. All right. Notice that the white students are performing at a, just an amazingly higher percentage rate. More of those fourth graders are reading than the black students or the Hispanic students. Low-income students and low-income black students are performing very low. The lowest group at all is the low-income black students. They're not even up to 10%. So less than 10% of the low-income black students are reading at a proficient level. That's not okay. This is not okay, because there's no, intelligence difference between different, cultural groups. Here's some data from 8th grade. It's the same national assessment of educational progress. This is 8th grade. If you look here, we have another, I think it's embarrassing for our country to have such a huge gap. And so we know that we need to teach black and Hispanic, particularly low-income students, differently than we teach the white students. We're clearly hitting our mark here, but then what are we missing? How can we close this? And I know there's a lot of research and articles about the achievement gap, and particularly, that kind of hits home for me because this is, information for my school district. But I think that if we're more culturally sensitive and we are meeting students where they are and understanding their background and understanding how to teach different groups of students, we're going to have, a easier time closing this gap. We want these students to perform just as well as their white peers. And that is my presentation. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great night. Thank you. Bye-bye.